Hello everybody, welcome back to HowtoRPG. Today it's all about monsters. For those of you who like monsters, that's what you're going to get. With regard to this live stream, I always go over some monster lore, and we will be talking about, as I have been for the last few months, more monsters from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica. And I look forward to doing so in a manner which you will find entertaining, but also swift. I do not intend to spend a long time on the topic, and then we will do the monster workshop stuff, which is building some tools. Okay, we've been building tools for monsters so you can make your own stuff for a while now, and that's of course what we're going to do. I'll put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. My suggestion is grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable, and I'll try to make this as interesting as possible. I have taken some artistic license, but I have not tried to change the Drossguard. I have simply tried to do something different with the Drossguard. Okay, all right, so now that you've got your food and your drink and you're ready, shall we start? Hi, welcome to HowtoRPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about monster lore. That's right, tabletop role-playing games are my thing, but monster lore and the Drossguard. The Drossguard is from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and I've been talking about Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, which is basically half a monster manual, in my opinion, for a while now. Now, this is a monster that is made for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. It is compatible. Okay, it has lore, it has a stat block, but I'm just going to talk about the lore for this monster. The Drossguard are an ancient construct or form of constructs made by the Evenum, an ancient and underground tiefling society. The Evenum went on to create a number of different types of constructs, servitors who aided in their construction and maintenance of a large underground city called Astum Salvis. Now, the Evenum and the underground city eventually disappeared, either due to plague, poisonous gas from possibly a mine, or a warring adversary. Now, like many ancient societies, we do expect them to disappear. Okay, so there's not very much left of them. But what is left is the Drossguard, who were created as servants or servitors, and they're basically armored scouts. Now, the fingers of the Drossguard end in deadly sharp tools that can disable mechanisms and machines, but also open locks. They carry metal spikes that they are capable of throwing, and this can be used to throw at a target, or it can be thrown at an opponent, a living creature, causing quite a lot of damage. Spending most of their time scavenging, the Drossguard are always on the move. Although extremely tough, the Drossguard's physical condition has deteriorated throughout the centuries since their creation. They are hundreds of years old. The lamp-like eyes of the Drossguard illuminate darkness, allowing them to see in the dark. But the light from the Drossguard's eyes is so powerful it can actually blind another creature who looks into their eyes, or if they look into somebody else's eyes. Now, the plating of a Drossguard is rusted and partially scrapped in some places, either to be disposed of because it's of no use to them anymore, or to be repurposed to make replacement body parts for their body if they cannot find enough iron to do so. The Drossguard are not a living creature that is affected by poison or fatigue because of their metal bodies and how their respiratory system has been set up. They're not a living creature. Standing ready for danger, the Drossguard are alert to the threats against their dwindling community of metallic beings. And that is the Drossguard for today. Not an awful lot about them, I am aware, but they are still quite an interesting concept. They are a sort of a sad story, really, the Drossguard. I hope you found this useful and interesting. I want to thank you for listening and watching. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this, including Esper the Bard for all of the support so that I can keep doing this on my channel and talking about the Drossguard. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I'm not gone, but I need to actually open some doors and windows, and I don't really want you to see what I'm doing while I'm doing that, so this is why I have that sign up. Just give me a second. It is a warm day here in New Zealand. For those of you who are in the cold, yes, it is a warm day here. Anyway, right, let's get the screen back to me. Okay, here we go. Hello, how are you? We're back. So I'm going to keep an eye on chat. We normally, after I cover something like this, we go and build some monster tools, and we're going to continue to do so. We've been doing work around the different types of senses that monsters and creatures might have, so that you have sort of like a library or a selection or a list of ideas that you can use, either rolling randomly or just picking what you want. But Esper always likes me to show you the section of the book, okay, and show you the actual artwork from the book and from the page entry. So I'm going to do that. We're going to switch over and show you very briefly that section, and I'll go over it. I'm not going to go over the lore because I've done that, but what I will do is I will go over at least the stat block. Okay, so this is the page entry. Okay, it's on page 180 of Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and you have a breakdown of the basic monster lore for the creature, some artwork. Its armor class is sort of average, about 16. You know, it's only a challenge rating 2, so it's not a high level monster, and not necessarily something you would fight. I mean, it's completely possible that you could simply just wind up negotiating and forming a truce with these Drossguard. The speed, a little bit faster than normal, about 35 feet, average hit points, and it's a particularly strong and dexterous construct. Also, you know, it's got a lot of constitution, so it's obviously tough. You know, it's what you would expect from essentially a robot. Okay. It also has, and you'll see other proficiencies, and it says tool proficiencies +5, and this is to duplicate and represent the fact that its fingers can be used to manipulate a lock or also a mechanism, possibly to fix it or disable it in some way. Okay, and then we have its various abilities. So it actually can move quite quickly around the battlefield if it needs to, based off its slyness. You know, it has the ability to sort of disengage, hide, use the search action as a bonus action in a battle. I'm not terribly fond of the search action. I think it's kind of a nonsense in Dungeons and Dragons 5e, but hiding and disengaging are kind of useful, although hiding is contentious in battle more than often. Let's just say, like, there's always somebody who has an issue with it, and I don't disagree with the arguments they put forward usually. Puncturing strike, so it has the ability to do additional weapons, weapon damage because of its basically sharp bits and pieces, and it's got its vision, which allows it to see, but also to blind other creatures if it wants to, and it can throw spikes. And it's got multi-attack. So that's the Drossguard. For those of you who are wondering, is there a stat block? Yes, there is. There is a stat block. You'll find down in the description a link to his book, but also a sample of that book, by the way. Okay, all right, that's that done. We've done our business stuff. Now, for those of you who are wondering, like, do I get sponsorship for doing these videos? So I never asked for sponsorship from Esper the Bard for doing these live streams and talking about his monsters, okay? What I did ask for was a copy of the physical book, which he sent me. He also sent me a digital copy so I could show it to you on screen. I didn't really ask for that, but he wanted me to show it, the digital form on screen and the page section, so he gave that to me. And the artwork he does send to me in batches so that I can use it for thumbnails, okay? So I've got all that permission. I never really asked for anything else than that. He did sign up to my Patreon, so he is a patron on my channel and supports me each month. Probably because I keep advertising his book, which I think is a good book. But that's, if you're wondering how this arrangement works with me and Esper, that's the gist of it, okay? If you really want to know more, you can ask, because I don't believe it's a secret. It's not really anything I'm trying to hide or he's trying to hide. It's all pretty above board, mate. Okay, all right, so hello, Fred Hoover, how are you doing? So we're going to work on our tools for our monsters. We've been doing this for a little while, and I think we should definitely continue. So let me just pull up my phone. I could see trading Drossguard and metals for their aid. Yeah, exactly. I agree. information passage through their areas or their territory? Absolutely. I don't think the Drossguard are intended to just be, let's just bash on them. I think they're actually intended to be potentially a negotiation, just another society that you can interact with, just really strange and alien because they're robots basically. Okay. So let us pull up. Now we've been working on this. I have marked it down as 100 different monster sensors. I think that's totally unrealistic. That's not going to happen. Let's get real. That's asking way too much. So I'm only really aiming for about 40, and it would be nice to be able to finish it today. So we've got plenty of time, so hopefully that can be done. Okay, so that's what I'm aiming to do for today. And by all means, if you feel inclined to help and assist along the way, you are welcome to do so. I'll do my best to include your ideas if I think that they're going to work or fit or they're not repetitive. I don't want to repeat too many things. Anyway, here we are. Here is the document. As I said, ignore the 100. It's really going to be more like 40. Okay. Right, so we have alignment detection, we have clairvoyancy, we have danger sense, we have DNA detection, empathic touch, enhanced hearing, fear detection, genetic abnormality. Basically, they can detect abnormalities, sense it. Normal hearing is in there. You can hearing in air or liquid, it's there. Infravision was basically being able to see or detect heat. Magic sense, so sensing magic. Microvision, which is basically being able to see really small things. It's like binocular vision, really. That's really what we're aiming for with that one. We have the mineral taste, so being able to taste different types of substances with sampling them. Navigation sensors, which is really detecting and using the planet's electromagnetic forces and fields to navigate around your environment. Neural oscillation, which is basically brain patterns and rhythmic and repetitive patterns and neural activity in the nervous system of a creature. Night vision, which is dark vision, for those of you who are wondering what that is. Being able to detect portals, we've got that, dimensional spaces, breaches in space and time. Radiation detection, just normal sight, so I included that as well. Sonic, which is really just your echolocation like a bat. Trans-dimensional sight, which is being able to see alternative dimensions, which I suppose it's very similar to portal to sense, but I think it's also slightly different, so we'll leave it for now. Undead sense, so being able to sense evil souls that have possessed corpses or skeletons or narcotic energy in something that's making it an undead creature, being able to sense that. Vibration, which is really just a very nuanced version of touch. And then we have X-ray vision, which we added last week, I believe. And so we're going to continue on. There are a number of these that are mostly done, and I just need to tidy them up. And that is what I'm going to do. If I don't get to your comments and what you're trying to say in the chat, do not feel bad. Give me time. I will check it. I just want to get a chance to get the stuff down. So there are some odd ones here. And I was having trouble trying to figure out how to structure them and word them in such ways that they would work. So let's do the most obvious ones. Smell and taste and tactile. Get them out of the way, and then I'll do the other ones that are a bit more bizarre. Smell. Define. Let's do this. What does it Google say? That's small. Did I just write small or smell? No, okay. Small, smell. Let's try it again. Faculty or power of perceiving odors or scents by means of organs in the nose. Okay, so here we go. Perceiving and detecting odor or scent of something. Okay, so that's right. Emitting an odor. No, we're not emitting. We are sensing. Perceiving, detecting. Okay, so and a biological organ like the nose. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get the simple stuff done. Monster, whoopsie. Monster perceives or detects odor or scent from a organ like the nose. Okay, that was that one done. Been trying to get that one done for ages, but it's down. Oh, an organ. Okay, detect or detects. Yep. Okay, we've got that. Cool. Let's put that in the SM. Cut. SISM, SO, right in here, in between. These aren't obviously things that you'll need help coming up with, because these are pretty simple, basic stuff, right? This is not hard stuff, this one. But I wanted to at least have them noted down, so I'm doing that. If you come up with your own ideas you would like to add to that, by all means do so. Yeah, we are pretty much down to cleaning up. We'll just clean up now. Insects often smell via the antennae. Yes, that's true. I did put down the word organ, but we can change that to also antennae. So let's grab antennae as well. See, organ like nose or antennae. Is it antennae? Oh, that doesn't look right at all. Antennae. Did you get it? Yeah, antennae. It's T-E. Is it 2 E ends? It's probably 2 ends. Antennae. A-E. Is it A-E? Antenna. It's antenna. Antennae. Is it going to be correct though? Okay, that looks like that's right. This antennae. Nose or antennae. Cool. Got that. Let's deal with the taste one. The sensation or flavour perceived in the mouth, the throat, or contact with a substance. But even taste can be through the tongue, because I know my sense of smell is not very good, but I can actually smell through my tongue. I know that sounds weird, but there are some creatures who do that, and it's probably because my nasal system is just a mess, and so my body and my brain has adjusted how I pick up smell. When I do get it, it's through the tongue, which is not nice. Trust me. You think getting it through the nostrils is bad? Just wait until you can taste it in your mouth. So yeah, here we go. The sensation or flavour perceived in the mouth, tongue. So let's go here. Sensation of flavour. That's really what we're dealing with here. So let's put that in. Thank you for that suggestion, Fred. It filled in a gap that I had left out, eh? The monster uses a mouth, throat, or tongue okay, uses a mouth, throat, tongue, senses. I'll just put senses, that's probably easier. So let's go cut this bit out here. Monster uses the monster senses. Let's put that. So there's flavour. Flavour perceived in the mouth, tongue, and throat, or contact with the substance. I think that's pretty much where we needed to be. Yep, okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's cut that. That's a taste T. T for taste, right here. Getting rid of the basic ones for today. Get on to the more interesting stuff. Right, that's taste. Now tactile. Tactile is obviously touch, and then we're going to get on to the weird and wacky. Weird and wacky. There's always something like that. So let's do tactile. Tactile. I think that's right. Contact with the sense of touch. Perceived by touch or apparent. Okay. Let's just put touch. Perceiving by touch. Okay, so handle, interfere. Actually, I think tactile is probably more on the. I think this is probably better as a. I can't use that whole thing because it's not going to work. We need to be pretty widespread so we cover everything. So let's do that. Let's paste here. Paste here. No, paste here. Monster perceives by touch or physical contact. Now, what are you perceiving? Contact. You're perceiving a range of different things. Touch. Things like texture. Texture. What else do we want? If I go touch, maybe we can break that down in a bit more. Define touch. Contact with nudge, press. What are you detecting? Texture. What do you determine when you touch? What do you determine when you touch? That's probably what I need to do. Oh, here we go. So shape, texture, size. Now, touch is not, well, yes, touch might be because you're lifting it. That would, yeah. So all of those things would make sense. So I think we can probably include all of them. And position, even position in the environment needs to be included, right? Shape, size, texture. Okay, so the monster perceives by touch or physical contact. Features like texture, shape, size, weight, and position in the environment, which is very important. So we'll make sure we've got that. Hello, Derp. How are you doing? Tactile, direct contact gives information on texture, temperature. Temperature, movement, that's true. Movement and temperature have been excluded, and you're right about that. Temperature. Whoopsies. Temperature. And movement and position. How's it going, Derp? Derp is also a patron. Thanks for being here. Sense. Pinpoint awareness of glass frogs with about 20 feet. What are we trying to do there, Derp? You've lost me completely. I have no idea what that's all about. It seems... where did you get that idea from? That's very specific. Glass frogs, 20, you've even given me a distance. Well, I'm not going to worry about the distance. But why do we need to detect a glass frog? Tactile. I think your point is that we can create, I think your point is, Derp, is we can create a lot of very peculiar, very situational senses for a monster. Correct? Is that what I think that's what you're trying to get across? Okay, all right. Let me see. Let's see out what else we've got here. Divination. Divination can sense potential in the future of others. So I feel like divination is too much like clairvoyancy, where the monster can predict any future event. I think divination is one of those things which I'm going to dump. Okay. just because I don't think it's actually adding anything really new without sort of stepping on the toes of stuff that already exists. So we're going to leave that alone. We'll get rid of that. Weakness sense. You can sense if someone is sick, now wounded. So this is very similar to the abnormality. But what I might do is, genetic abnormality. The monster can sense sickness. Now we can actually go weakness. Sense weakness, or weakness sense, or weakness detection, and put sickness into that. And so that disabilities, mutations, deformities, and disease, well, maybe even disease would go into weakness. And then we'd keep just the deformities, mutations, disabilities. It's not really necessarily genetic, but we could switch it over. I'm not against the idea of doing something like that. It might actually be quite sensible, separating them and so that they're a bit more defined. My idea is to magically otherwise sense a specific thing within a radius. The glass frog is from a poem in a game. Right. So what we do is we take I think you've actually made it's a good point. What we do is we don't tailor it to a glass frog. We tailor it to a specific creature, so that their sense is ability to detect a particular type of creature within a certain range. That we could certainly do. I think that would definitely be interesting for a monster, because monsters pick up on certain things and ignore other things, right? Even creatures do, even humans do. Well, I like to think they do, but anyway. So let's separate the sickness. Disabilities and sickness, I think, can go together. Cut. And we'll go to weakness here. Weakness sense, or weakness detection. Weakness sense is good enough. Heck, I don't even call that. We just call it weakness sense. No, I can put sense. It doesn't really matter. It's just a tag name as far as I'm concerned. So, whoopsies. The monster can sense if a creature is sick. Wounded is good. Let's put that there as well. Let's include these other things that we had before. And paste that. Sickness, sick, wounded, diseased, or has a disability. This is the World War Z thing, right? For those of you who remember that movie, somebody had mentioned it last week, and this is what we're really trying to duplicate with weakness sense. So let's take that, and then I'm going to come back to Derp's idea. So weakness sense, weakness. It's T, weak, UVWX goes here. Weakness sense. Okay, now I go back to, what was it called? Abnormality. Genetic abnormality, wasn't it? Genetic. Yeah, here we go. So sense, the monster can sense mutations, deformities, and deformities. Mutations, deformities, and genetic damage in other creatures. Okay, so we've got that one done. I need to pull Derp's idea and put it together and write it up so that it's going to work. So, just a drink of water quickly. Water hearing. I really want to just ignore that. because I really don't know that. I mean, hearing is hearing. Do we hearing, and we're going to have hearing in space, hearing underwater? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. So let's see. Let's deal with the derp's idea. What are we going to do? How am I going to do this? I'm just thinking. How do I write it so it does what you were trying to do? Pinpoint awareness. Pinpoint awareness feels like it could be something else. So let's call it. I think we'd call it pinpoint species. So I'm just going to change the name to pinpoint species. The monster can detect the location of a specific creature within a limited range. That's what we're going to do. I think that's how we're going to write it up. Yeah, I think that's how we'll write it up, Dirt. I think that's probably going to be the better way. So pinpoint species. P. Pin. IP in here. Pinpoint. And drop that in. It's there. Cool. All right, that's that one done. Moving on. I'm not sure what to do with that one. Color vision. Well, yes, we've kind of got vision already. I'm not sure we need to do that and separate that, so we won't do that for now. I'm not going to put creature type. I'm not going to put creature type. Creature type is a Dungeons & Dragons 5e concept. And as you may have been noticing, every time I do these things, I mean, look, I play Dungeons & Dragons 5e too. But I am also aware that not everybody plays Dungeons & Dragons. So I do not want to build tools that are just tailored for Dungeons & Dragons 5e that has necessarily got that terminology tied to it. Okay? I think that specific species is good enough. I think it doesn't need to be creature type. I think it would be just winding up getting into semantics. I think specific species is more than adequate to cover that. But I see what you're trying to do. But yeah, again, every time I do this, I really will steer away from locking it into a specific game system. It is a list of ideas. It is not a, what do you call it? It's not a prescription. Do you know what I mean? It's not prescribing how it should be. Okay, withering gaze. So this is something I need to get right. Withering gaze suggests that you are able to make something wither. So withered gaze, I think that's what if it's going to be called withered anyway, withered gaze is probably where we go. Okay. And we need to make sure it's clear that you're not making them older. You're actually just seeing them age. The monster can see all living creatures aging. Now, why is it aging? Is that right? Is it aging spelt that way? Aging. Oh, okay. Aging. Now we're dealing with minute bits of time, aren't we? So we're dealing with really sort of focused in times. They're slow. It almost as if the time is slowed down, but they're not slowing down time. But that's what they see. The monster can see all living things aging. aging very slowly. Oh, I'm still not too sure if that's going to be working for me. The effects of aging, yes. Living things can see. I can see. The effects. The monster can see minute, see the minute. Is it minute, minute. It's going to say minute, and I don't think that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not minute. How do you spell minute? Minute. Is that minute? Small, precise, minute. Okay, all right. That's the word minute. Okay, now that's better. All right, copy. And paste. Minute effects of aging on all living things. Okay, so that's withering gaze. Withered gaze. Copy. Cut. And into the wither section. Okay, thank you for that, Fred. That helped a lot. Okay, good. That's that down. We might need some extra ideas because I think a few of these things are just not going to work very well. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you doing? Nice to have you here. They get grief glimpses of how people... Sorry, what's that? I think it's age, decay. I don't know about die, but decay is fine. Okay, the monster can see the minute effects of aging and decay on all living things. That'll include plants then, I guess. Okay, I think we've sorted that one out. Web sense can sense the presence of creatures on the same web. And really, I guess this is really to duplicate the spider, isn't it? Which I'm fine with making something specific. Can sense the presence of creatures on the same web. So they're feeling the vibrations, the same web through. Through small vibrations. Okay. I think that's what was trying to be communicated, so I've got that down. The fecal dust sense, tracking farts and things like that. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to put it in. Wealth is an interesting concept. It seems kind of, I mean, when you think about it, let's have a sense that is being able to detect wealth. And it seems ridiculous, but, you know, it's an interesting idea to consider. Because, I mean, it's very supernatural, but it makes it really useful for a monster who's trying to become like a dragon, having the ability to detect who is wealthy and who is not, so that you can take their stuff. Like, is it worth actually, you know, taking this individual stuff, or is it just a waste of my time? Do we have a sense poison or corruption? Sensing poison? No, I don't know. Toxins? I don't know that there's a toxin detection that we've put down of any kind. So let's do this. Wealth detection. The monster can sense the monetary worth of a creature of creature. It's a strange ability, but monsters often do have strange abilities. So I'm actually fine with keeping this one. I think we'll do that one there. Weather. Wealth. Wealth. Detection. Wealth. Health. I think it goes after here. KL. Yeah. There we go. We'll put it in here. Wealth detection. We've got the web sense. I think we can take the web sense and we can lock that down now. Cut. Webbing. Web. Webster. Where are you going to go here? Right there. Let's put it in here. Paste. Oh well, we're moving along fairly nicely. Things are coming along nicely. I think we're doing all right. Okay, so what's another one that I can actually deal with? Balance sense. Can it improve their balance or sense when other creature is off balance? I don't understand what to do with that. Really, I have no idea. Balance sense. Yeah, I think we'll ditch that. I might keep the tag name, but I just don't know what to do with this. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let's deal with... I want to get rid of the fecal dust thing, so I'm going to just remove it. It was funny, but we'll get rid of that. Okay. Next. Memory taste. Can access victims' memories by taste. Oh, that's an interesting... That's right. So that was... Memory taste was the... No, that was detection. That was not the Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines where the hot female Terminator sticks her finger in the blood. That's more detecting DNA, isn't it? This is memory. So this is interesting. So let's do memory taste. Memory taste. Bizarre, but I've got an idea for it. The monster can access the memories of another creature by tasting blood. So vampires sort of do that, don't they? Blood, body fluid, so that would be things like urine and everything else. Body fluids or flesh. That would be interesting. I kind of like that. That's very sort of, if anybody remembers, I think you could get, there's, what was it, the Underworld, the vampire stories. They would bite into somebody and they would be able to get the memories of somebody else by feeding off them through the blood. So that's kind of doing that to a certain degree. Okay, so cut. Memory taste. Cut. Memory. Miimbi. There we go. Memory. All right, so we've got that one down. Memory taste. That's that one. Very good. Very good. All right, we might not get to 40 yet. It might actually wind up being less than that. Vampires did memory taste and Underworld. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking, Pale Rider. So I think that may be the idea people are working with. I'm getting rid of the hat. We need to get stuff done, and my brain needs to be working at top efficiency. It doesn't seem to work very well if it overheats. Now, life force. I don't know that I want to call it, is it life force? But I guess what we're trying to do is we're trying to detect the soul, maybe the soul of something. So being able to detect that there's something has a soul, that would be an unusual, very specific, very odd sort of thing. It's kind of the reverse of the undead sense, isn't it? Life force detection. Well, life force is not the same, isn't it? I mean, is it life force? I suppose it is. We could say that life force really is the soul, right? So let's do that. And some monsters would be hunting for souls, so they need to know what has a soul and what doesn't. The monster can sense the presence of a soul. Soul out of a body or in a body. Let's broaden that up as much as possible. Can sense the presence of a soul out of our body. Or in a body. I think that's got it. I think that will do nicely. Okay, so we're definitely we're moving along quite nicely. That's working out good. Sweet. And I believe somebody had said something about detecting poison, toxins and poisons. And that's actually kind of an interesting sense to have, being able to detect that sort of thing. Why not? Let's include something like that. Life force. We're going to cut life force, and we're going to put it into the right place. Life, life. Can you spell, Fred? It's got to go here. It's got to go in this. If we keep it all in alphabetical order, it's going to be a bit easier to deal with. So let's keep doing that. ESP. We'll come back to ESP, I think. So I might need a bit of help. I'm helped to come up with some additional new ideas, but I do. At least we have the. What about now? Alignment is kind of like. It's kind of like detecting whether you're good or evil, but it's not really. It's a bit more D&D actually, and I'm actually tempted to remove that and make that alignment detection. Well, is it? The monster can sense the attitudes, inclinations of another creature, regardless of their current action. No, it's fine as it is. Let's leave that as it is. Let's deal with the poison detection. Poison. Okay, the monster can determine a substance plant or creature is poisonous or toxic. Okay, I think that's nailed that one down. So poison detection. Let's go there. Cut and P. P for poison. I think that goes right there, doesn't it? Pretty sure it does. Hope that's right. Yeah, it looks right. Okay, cool. Right, that's that one done. So we've got another one down. I need to do a bit of research on ESP in a second because I'm not really too sure if ESP is so sort of broad and wide and ranged in terms of its what it's trying to do. It's a blanket thing for like everything. So I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work. There are different types of things that fall into this, isn't there? So here we go. Let's try this. E.S.P define What is it really? Okay, well that's not going to help us. Extrasensory perception. Extrasensory perception, also called sixth sense, is claimed abnormal ability pertaining to reception of information not gained through recognized physical senses, but sensed with the mind. The term was adopted. Okay, so that's not helping me very much. Senses. So, like, reading thoughts would be a sense. Telepathy, I mean, there's two types of telepathy, I guess we could say, right? What we're doing is we're breaking down into telepathy. Is telepathy two-way communication, or is the ability to read your mind? So, oopsies, meaning. By means, okay, so, sorry, seeing auras. Yeah, it could be. So, telepathy. Let's just put telepathy. And so the monster. Now, I think we might have had something that's very similar to that, now that I think about it. There's something that's really similar that we wrote down, and I think it's neural oscillation. The monster detects brainwaves, rhythmic or repetitive patterns of neural activity in the nervous system of other creatures. It's not the same thing. It is a little bit different. It's a little sciencey for sure, that one. This is a little bit easier to describe. The monster can read the thoughts of another creature the monster can read the thoughts of another creature within range and potentially communicate ideas without speaking or a language. Without speaking. I guess that's speaking. Without speaking. Let me just check that. That's good enough. I think that's good enough. Yep. Let's leave that at there. So it's basically there's telepathy. I think that's really what we're dealing with here. Although I feel like telepathy is the ability to communicate those things, but I mean, are we dealing with two-way? Someone else's mind, communicate with someone mentally without using words or other physical gestures, or physical signals. Okay, the monster can read the thoughts of another creature within range and potentially communicate ideas without sound or physical signals. Okay, I think that's, yeah. Is that telepathy? Is that really telepathy? That's the question, right? Or is that something else? I think it covers it mostly. I think it does cover it mostly. I feel like the definition is there. We've just added a little bit more in. Maybe it needs to be stripped down and stripped back. I don't know. Telepathy, T. Let's put T for T. Where are you? It's going to have to go after taste. That's where it should probably live. Taste, telepathy. Okay, cool. All right, where am I? Still a little bit further off than I would hope, but That's life. Shadow sense. Can sense presence, detection, and location, anything inside or connected to a shadow. I don't know what we're trying to do with that. Really unsure as to what is going on with that. I'm going to just delete it because I don't know what to do with that. I need to go to the toilet, but I'm not finished, so I'm going to just put up my be back soon screen, and that gives people an opportunity if you come up with an idea. Otherwise, I'm going to have to finish it off myself. Hashtag. We need how many? 1, 2, 4 more. 4 more monster senses. Alright, so I will put up I'll be back, do my toilet break, come back, and we'll see if we can nail down the last. Alright, I'm back. Sight by taste? Sight by taste? Really? Okay. I'm not sure about that one. Sight by taste. Sight by taste. Sees the surroundings and taste it from sight. I suppose we could do reversals like that, but I'm like, is that going to be necessary? The sorts of things so let's read through what we have in terms of things that our monsters can detect, and then maybe we just break it. What we aim for is, what is there something that we haven't included that they could potentially detect, even though we as humans can't do it, or maybe the monsters or creatures, not monsters, maybe the animals or creatures that we're normally used to wouldn't normally have, that we can sort of build into. So we've got detecting alignment. which is kind of that's attitudes, I guess, good and evil. Maybe that comes into it. Inclinations. We've got clairvoyancy, which is predicting the future events, which is basically kind of detecting things that happen in time. We've got danger sense, so detecting danger, impending threats, reacting to lightning fast reflexes. We have detecting DNA, so genetic DNA by taste and smell, so we've got that covered. Empathic touch, which is basically sensing emotions from a creature. Okay, so we've kind of separated that from other things. Enhanced hearing, which is basically hearing high frequency and low frequency sound waves. We've got fear detection, so perceiving the hormones released when a creature is fearful or frightened. We've got genetic abnormality, so picking up something like mutations, deformities, and genetic damage in a creature. Hearing, which is perceiving sound through air and liquids. Infravision, which is detecting heat. Life force detection is basically detecting the soul in a body or not in a soul, so life force detection. We have magic sense, so sensing the distance, strength, direction, and nature of a magical effect or aura. We have memory taste, so tasting some body fluid or blood or flesh to get the memories from that creature. We have microvision, which is basically being able to just binocular, lock down and look at something that's very small, so very fine eyes, I guess. Mineral taste, so detecting the minerals present in a substance by sampling it. Navigation, using electromagnetic forces and fields so you can get around your environment. Neural oscillation, so brain waves, rhythms, repetitive patterns in the central nervous system, or nerve activity. Night vision, which is basically seeing in the dark. Pinpoint species, so detecting the location of a specific creature or species. Poison detection, it's pretty obvious what that is. Portal sense, so being able to know where the location of a dimensional portal, breach in time and space, we've got that. Radiation detection, okay, so we've got that one covered as well. We've got sight, which is normal, that's all broken up. Smell, just normal smell. Sonar, so detecting creatures, objects, and shapes in the environment, terrain, and movement by reflecting sound off them, and it bounces back, so it's basically echolocation. Tactile, I've broken that down, it's basic stuff. Taste, we've done taste. Sight, smell, taste. We've done telepathy, which is detecting a creature's thoughts and then potentially being able to communicate back and forth without using sound or physical signals. Trans-dimensional sight, which is basically seeing other dimensions occupying the same space, which is very odd and strange and very science fiction-y. Undead sense, so detecting necrotic energy or evil souls possessing a corpse or a skeleton. Vibration, so feeling vibration in solid material, liquid and air. What do you got here? We've got weakness sense, so sensing sick, wounded, diseased or disabled creatures. Wealth detection, which is very odd, but we've still got it there, so the monetary value of them. Web sense, which is basically if you're in contact with a web, you can feel the vibrations another creature might make if they make contact with it. Withered gaze, so seeing the minute effects of aging and decay on a living things. X-ray vision, okay, so that's what we've got. Tasting the air, vision, 360 degrees, seas around them, like a shark. You're talking about like the shark. The shark almost has 360 degrees. It's a good point. It's actually not a bad idea, Pale Rider. I actually think that's a very smart idea. I think there's a term for it too. So if I remember, there is definitely a term for shark vision. Yes, they do have good eyesight, but that's not what we're doing. What is shark vision like? So it is. Fact, don't do that. Shark eyesight. I'm sure there's a term for it. There are blind spots, but basically it has just about, I can see almost all around it. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it is. I know sharks have a very wide range of vision, but I can't remember what it's called. There is a special term for it. Okay, so let's go here with, I've got to form it up into an idea. 360 degree vision. I don't know what I'm going to call that, but it's just, I've got a hashtag there. Don't need a hashtag. The monster can see as you can see in a 360 degree question mark. Not too sure what to say there. I'm not too sure what to say there, so I'm just going to put a question mark there, and we'll come back to that. Okay, all right, so that gives us potentially one of the 4 that we need. Tasting the air, sight by taste, surrounds. Okay, so let's put here strange animal senses. I wonder if we can pull up something. Electros reception. Oh, actually, maybe that's probably a pretty good one. Like, electroreception, is that the detection of electric energy and static energy? Static electricity. I don't think we've got anything like that. Can detect when magic is... we've already got something like that, magic detection already, so we don't need to do that again. But we don't have anything around electric current. And I think that is what that is there. So we've done radiation, polarized vision, I don't know what that is. Sense, smell, Let's grab this one here. And let's do a little bit of research and find out what that is. Define, please, define. Okay, the detection of an aquatic animal or electric fields or currents. Okay, by aquatic animals, we don't have to make it aquatic, but the detection of electric fields and currents. That's what it is. So let's make that one of our senses. We haven't got that. That was pretty easy. Cool. Sweet. Let's put that in. Electroreception. Whoopsies. Now, where's the definition here? Can detect. We just need to break that down and remove some of those terms, and we've mostly got it. Can detect. The monster can detect electric fields, static electricity, electric fields or currents. There we go. That's probably got it. Crime snifter. Can smell crime and injustice. That's very, very cute. Can detect. Okay. Let's put this electric reception in and go cut. E for electric. Electric. E for electric. So it goes in here. Try that. Electric. Now, Derp, you've got crime snifter. Snifter can smell crime and injustice. We do have echolocation. We do have echolocation. There's that there. Okay, it's just called sonar, which is the same thing. Sonar and echolocation is the same thing. So we've got that sense done. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with this. It's there. Okay, all right, let's keep going. And what else on this list of things did we have? So we've done this, done this, done this, done that. Detect presence of fire. Oh, jeweled beetles can detect fire. Really? That's interesting. Top animals with super senses. Really? Okay, that would be. Let's see what weird senses. What have we got here? Animals with excellent senses. Platypus. That's the electricity thing. Echolocation. Infrared radiation detection. We've got that down. Polarized vision. What is that? Aside from its flexible physique with 8 powerful tentacles, the octopus is one of the unique animals because of its incredible sense of sight. For instance, they have this so-called polarized vision, wherein it can control the amount of light coming in, hence giving it an improved ability to see well in the dark. Oh, I see. Alright, so that's what that polarized thing is all about. Okay, catfish. Sense of taste. Well, we've got taste already. Smell we've got already. What is the fire beetle going on here? What's this jeweled beetle all about? While it is a widespread sense that everyone can feel the presence of fire, this tiny creature can smell and detect burning pine trees. That is, alright, okay, so it's just super improved compared to everybody else. Okay, sense of hearing, that's normal. Earth's magnetic fields, we've done this. This is birds and that thingy. Sense of touch, we've done the spider thingy already, really. Complete visual system. What is that? What is a complete visual system? Viewing sonar waves, not sure what the... Well, yeah, but that, I feel like we're kind of stepping on the same sort of idea. What have we got here, though? You are already fascinated by octopus's sense of sight. Wait until you hear about this astonishing ability of the mantis shrimp, known to have the most complex visual system in the animal kingdom. Mantis shrimps have 16 types of photoreceptors, light detectors that can detect visible and ultraviolet, and are the only known animal to see circulatory polarized light. This is too much. This is getting too sciencey. Yeah, I think we can leave that one alone. Alright, so that's not going to help us, which is fine. The weirdest senses animals have that you don't. Well, that would be nice to know. We've got the bumblebees. And this website looks like it's going to cause trouble. Just go away. We've got the shark. And its sense, which is like very broad. Homing device, right meal, murkiest water. It doesn't really say very much. Electricity, they can pick up electricity as well. Bumblebees. What are bumblebees? Mechanico-sensory legs. That's still saying very little of anything. We're going back to the same sorts of things, are we? Wonderful. Okay, forget about that. Go away. It's a problem, that one. Let's go over here. I think we've already done this. Yeah, we have. Okay, so that's no good to me. Well, maybe I just need to just leave it. Sometimes these things sort themselves out, and it just needs a little bit of time to sort of ruminate as to what we include. Since there aren't that many left to be done to get to 40, roughly 2 more, and it's sorted. Viewing sonar waves. Okay, so what do you got here? Okay, polar vision could be used to regulate the light coming in to protect a creature from snow blindness or maybe even light spells. Okay. All right. I mean, it could. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this. This might be. I think this is a point where I've come to a. I don't know what else to do with it. I don't really want to come back to this next week. Frankly, I don't really want to come back to this next week. But I don't know the solution to getting to the end and making this a list of 40. We've got so many different things here already that cover just about everything you could imagine, but I just can't get the last few. So I'm going to call it quits, I think, on this little project, and we'll consider picking up a different project for next week. That was hard. It was actually quite hard. Okay, all right. These things happen. Sometimes you never know. I might sit on the toilet and it comes to me, or I might spot something, see something on the internet, learn something new, and you wind up, there's the solution. That's what I'm going to do. You never know with these things, so I'm going to put it down and just accept that I don't have the idea for it right now. All right, so I'm going to end this poll. So the poll here is, do you like constructs or robots in your role-playing games? Yes, 81%, no, 9%. So those 9%, they're either still here or they've already left, more than likely. Just watching, 9% out of 11 votes. Cool. Now, what is happening tomorrow? Tomorrow I am covering Hero Quest, I think. Hopefully work has been rough, people. So day job, as you know, day jobs can be difficult, and I do have a day job, just like everybody else, a normal guy, normal person, and things happen in those jobs, and sometimes they're a bit much to deal with. Memory sense, you can tap into a recent past. Yeah, we've already got that though. We've already got something around memory, so I just don't think that's gonna. Yeah, I don't want to have duplication in a table just to make sure that there's 40. If I can't come up with something legitimate, I just prefer to just step away from it and just leave it for a little while. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodbye. I will see you, those of you who are interested in showing up for the Hero Quest tomorrow. Otherwise, the day after, I will be doing some revamping of the Orc and the Goblin for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. That's what's happening. So huge thank you to all of my patrons who support me on Patreon. I want to thank you for watching and listening. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll. I want to thank Esper the Bard. Thank you very much, so that I can keep running these little lore bites along our pathway, along our journey towards creating our own stuff. And it's always nice to talk about somebody else's monsters for a little while. Makes it a little bit easier for me. I want to thank the people who have been in chat providing ideas. Pale Rider, I appreciate you being here. Derp, who's been throwing in his 2 cents as well. And also Fred Huber. Really, without your ideas, I don't get very far with these live streams, so I really do need you to be here. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Yeah.